Hello everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel, or welcome to the channel if you are new here. I'm Alexandra and we are back on my channel with a new speed building video, and I'm so excited to share with you this one because we are building a mansion. And in fact, I don't think I ever did such a big build before. I know I usually do big builds, but this one, it's spectacular, I must say, because I don't know, I just had so much fun, and I don't know, I just woke up one day with this very huge inspiration to make a very grand and luxurious mansion. So that's why we are now in Del Sol Valley, the world that came with the Get Famous expansion pack a very long time ago. And in fact, I've never built on this lot in this very uphill neighborhood, and we are on this 50 by 50 lot. And I'm so excited with this build, guys. I really hope that you're gonna like it and maybe download it from the gallery. And yes, as you can see, I started the build with a very huge pool because, in my opinion, a very expensive and luxurious house needs a very big, luxurious pool. So that's how we started the build, with this pool placed on a very huge and very big foundation. And then I started to work with the actual shape of the house. And I might say that this build somehow looks a bit Spanish or Mediterranean. I don't even know, but that's the style I went for. It's very elegant and it has a lot of, I don't know, warm tones and bricks and tiles that make everything looks, very, I don't know, luxurious. And I think I'm using this word way too often, but that's what I wanted to do here. And yes, this build in fact turns out that it's very expensive. It's way more than 500k simoleons, so it's a half million, guys. It's a half million, and I never did such an expensive house. Maybe I did houses that are big and expensive, but 500, never. And I'm excited that I don't know, I managed to do this thing. I don't know why I never approached this style and this, mega mansion style before. I thought it's not something that suits my vibe and my style of building, but in fact I had so much fun with this, and I'm loving the final result. And yeah, before seeing more about this build, I would like to friendly remind you that I do have an EA affiliate code that you can use when you purchase any Sims 4 DLCs from the EA app or thesims.com, and I would really appreciate if you would choose to support me as a creator by using the code CREATE4SIMS each time you maybe want to have a new pack in your library. So yeah, with all that being said, let's go back to the build, because now I'm starting to add the details of the house. Like, as you can see, I already added some windows and fences and friezes to make it, look very detailed. And in the back of the build, I had this space and I didn't know what I wanted. So that's why I created this sort of a build that somehow looks like a gazebo, but it's not a gazebo. It's just a very, not so big room with a lot of arches, and they look like, you had spandrels there, but they're not spandrels. They're just these huge arches, and I really love how they look with the curtains inside. And that's in fact a place for outdoor dining, and I love this side of the build very much, because I use these debug fences to cover everything, and I don't know, it just gives a very special vibe, and I like that as well. And I forgot to mention that we have a second pool in this build, which is on top of the first floor, and we have also a bar area there. And I love how it's looking from outside, but it was so hard for me to actually, hide it, because inside you could see the walls of the pool from the ground floor. and I really struggled a bit to actually hide those walls inside. I didn't know what to do there. But in the end, I think it's looking fine. I didn't really, to get rid of it because I really wanted that pool on the first floor. So yeah, right now you can see how I'm trying to fake some steps on the pool to make it look like you have stairs that go to the bottom of the pool. And I did this trick with the basement underneath the actual pool, so it's not on the first level underground, but it's the second level underground. And the steps I used are actually some shelves that I like to call them, but they're not actually shelves. They come with Desert Lux kit, and they basically are, some tiny wood pieces that connects curtains, and I size them up and place them on a random wall. And yeah, they just give that effect that you have stairs that go underneath the pool. So yeah, I have to say that I used in this build a lot of packs, probably most of the expansion packs and the latest kits, obviously, because I'm obsessed with the latest kits, and they are so good when making luxurious and very cluttered interiors. So that's why I used a lot of the refined living room kit. The Casanova Cave one was perfect for this vibe I was going for. And also probably I used game packs. I know that I used my wedding stories a lot. And yeah, most of my builds are made with all the expansion packs, and if you don't have all the packs that I used in any of my builds, you can easily go on the gallery and check out what items I used from each pack. And that is how you can actually see what items will miss from your build if you place it, and if you don't have that particular stuff pack or game pack or kit. And usually the things that you're gonna miss in the inside are clutter items, because I use a lot of clutter and plants and stuff like that. So it's not really, a must to have every pack to download this build, or any of my builds in fact. And yeah, basically in the exterior, to have the whole vibe, it's definitely gonna be needing the life and death for the foundation and the fence and the columns, because they are very, elegant, and I loved to use them in this build. And also the stairs, and I think I used also the Castle Estate kit a lot, because it gives you those medieval vibes, and I really liked to use those columns as well. And other than that, the windows, I believe they are from Lovestruck, and some of them are from Businesses and Hobbies pack. But overall, I really think you don't really need the whole packs I've used, basically. So yeah, I love this corner right here with the hot tub. I am so obsessed with it. I used this sunk in platform on a foundation, and I did this gazebo type with the columns and the Desert Lux awnings. And I love how I rotated with the tool mod these ivy objects that are for walls. They came with the Enchanted by Nature pack, and I was so happy to see that I could actually rotate them with the tool mod, because sometimes some items in the game that are wall items, they don't really, rotate with the tool mod. And I was very, very pleased to see that they do rotate, and I add them on top of those awnings, and I really like that effect over there. And I was just imagining how the Sims can spend time in that hot tub and have that amazing view over Del Sol Valley, which is such a beautiful world. And I'm sad that I've never built here like so often. I don't think I ever did like more than one build in this world. And yeah, I like to explore now building in older worlds, because recently I've been building on the newest ones, and that's why we're now in Del Sol Valley. And in fact, I started a second mansion on this neighborhood, on this 64 by 64 lot, and I'm also very excited about that one. I don't know when it's gonna be up on the channel, because guys, I want to make a 1 million simoleons house, and in fact that's why I started it. I wanted to challenge myself because I said, okay, I could make one that's worth 500,000. Can I make one that's worth 1,000,000 simoleons? And I really have to see if I can achieve that, because even with this one, when I was finished with the whole furnishing, this whole house was worth 450k, I think, something like that. I was missing on 50k, and I was like, what can I add to have some more expensive stuff in this house? And obviously I added computers that are expensive, and television, and I don't even remember, probably some decor items, and yeah, statues, because they are expensive. And yeah, if you are playing on budget, this is not the house for you. But if you have maybe a celebrity or a storyline going with someone that's very rich, you can easily play in this house, or you can have it by cheating your money in the game, basically. So we are into the interior now, and for this build I went with a very light color scheme, because somehow a part of me feels like not only black interiors make a house look expensive. I used to think that. Black marbles or tiles make everything look expensive and luxurious. But in fact, now I can see that also white makes everything very, I don't know, expensive. So I went with this beige and white color scheme. And in fact, I loved this dining room that I have here. It's gonna be on this rounded room where I used the wallpaper that's glass, and I have to say that the view is amazing over there. And one more thing that I would like to say about the build is that I don't usually normal use wall lights. I usually use ceiling lights, and for this build I used a ton of lights on the walls and also a lot of chandeliers. I am obsessed with the chandelier that we got with the businesses and hobbies, and the one from Life and Death. So I think I used multiple of those on bedrooms, in the living room, and the kitchen even. And yeah, we're working now everywhere, and I know it's kind of messy because I started to work on the first floor and then on the ground floor, and we're now at the point we're doing the upper hallway, and it's a very big one. And one more thing I didn't mention about this build, it's how many bedrooms we have. So in this build we have one master bedroom with an ensuite bathroom, one room for a baby, so that counts as a nursery. We have a double bedroom for 2 toddlers, and a double bedroom for 2 children, and a bedroom for a teenager. So we have a lot of bedrooms, including one for guests. So I believe that counts as 6 to 7 bedrooms, but 2 of them are doubled. So you can easily have in this mansion someone that has a household of 8 or more Sims. And yeah, basically you have a lot of space. Even the guest bedroom can be for friends if they come here. Obviously, I believe your Sims might have a lot of friends, maybe if they are celebrities. And yeah, we're onto the kitchen now. I used this rounded island, and I love how that is looking. And the new fridge from the Clutter Kitchen kit, I really love that fridge. I'm happy that I remember about it. And I used the white swatch without the posters on the actual fridge door. And yeah, it's very light tone. I used some dark brown, but in combination with white decor. We have also a breakfast nook in the kitchen, and we're gonna be moving into the living room where we have those beautiful arches, and you can see outside. I hope that won't cause troubles with the temperature in the house, because it's actually an outdoor room, but considering it's Del Sol Valley, I think it's mostly hot in this world. I might be wrong though. I don't usually gameplay a lot, so I don't know how the weather is actually in Del Sol Valley. And we also have an office. I forgot to say that. Yeah, basically, I think every mansion needs an office in the floor plan, so I integrated that as well. And we have that long hallway with a dancing floor and a bar and Probably the Sims that live here were having, I don't know, weekend parties, like a lot of parties. Also outside by the pool and also indoors because we have a lot of music instruments and we have a huge piano. And yeah, I love how I decorated also the bedrooms. They have, a sort of a white color scheme, but I tried to integrate also light woods. And speaking about clutter, I tried to not over clutter this build. You know me and you know clutter, and you know that we're a perfect match. But for this build, I tried and it was so hard. Believe me, it was so hard for me not to use a ton of clutter. And I tried to limit myself only like for some lamps and some books, and in each room basically we have plants and a tiny amount of decor items. So yes guys, I believe I will leave you right now to see the rest of this bed build and the tour at the end. I loved making the tour of this build. I really love how everything is looking, and I'm looking forward to read all of your comments, and I really hope that you're gonna love this build. And until next time, don't hesitate to leave a like, a comment, and a sub to the channel to help the channel grow. And I would also like to thank you so much for achieving this month 10k subs here on YouTube. You are amazing. I'm so happy that you like watching my speed builds, that you're downloading my builds, and I can't wait to make more builds and speed builds for you guys. Until the next time, have an amazing day, and I'm sending you a lot of hugs. Bye everybody.